Got the wrong thing up there. Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trevor Talks It Through, episode 112. Children's literature is what this one is called. I was calling it kids' books, but I think children's literature sounds a little more legitimate, you know. Looking to I want to attract a really highbrow type of audience, so I want to use more expensive words like literature. Children's literature. Hopefully some people are out there. It's been quite a week, couple of weeks here in Ontario. We're on lockdown again, maximum lockdown. We've been locked down, yeah. And the Premier decided not just to lock us down, but they said, we're also just going to have police be able to just ask you if you're out about why you're out. What are you doing? You know, like, hey, why are you out walking? Yeah, I see you walking there. And so they gave the police all these powers, and the police went, yeah, actually, we don't want these. We don't want that. It doesn't end well. And then the government went, oh, I guess, yeah. Huh, maybe we should ask somebody. Who knew? Anyway, lockdown in Ontario. Oh, we got some good mornings coming in. Good. This show is always taped in front of a live streaming audience. And some of those live humans on the other side, unless they're bots. I guess some of them could be bots. I don't know why you'd put a chatbot on my show, though. That'd be weird. Some people are here. Carolyn's saying the BC is not so good, but they're not locked down yet. Well, you tell your people in power they should go talk to Doug Ford because he's got ideas. Maybe you guys should try the whole police just talking to people. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you driving? Where are you driving to? Hey, where are you going? It's just they all become like that annoying guy on the street. Hey, where are you going? Oh, yeah? Yeah, I went down there once too. Yeah. Yeah, except that guy can't give you fines. Do. Oh, the playgrounds. They opened up the playgrounds again too. Yeah, they shut down all the playgrounds. Because being outside is actually the safest place to be, so they shut all that down and didn't bother to, do anything about all the people inside. Yeah. Bright bunch. So smart. So glad they're ruling over us. Anyway, I got to move on because I'm getting angry. I was getting happy, getting ready for this show. Okay, I'm going to go to a happy place because this is kids' books. And kids' books are happy, damn it. They're happy. So, what was it? Okay. Okay, back on track. Do. So last week we talked about Dungeons & Dragons, 2 weeks ago. I always say last week. 2 weeks ago, we did this. I think that kind of led into the children's book idea. I have no idea who decides how the group mentality takes this show the way it does. And so then we did that, and I had the incredible song, the song for the ages, Gelatinous Cube. I'm sad to say I have nothing of that caliber for this show, so you might just want to save yourself some times if you were going, you know what, that Trevor's really on a roll. He's going to top Gelatinous Cube. I'm not going to top that. I'm not even going to come close this episode. Sorry, everyone. But I want to be honest. Okay, what else has gone on? I've been working on my website. I now have something called a calendar on my website because I have a kind of confusing schedule. So now, if you want to find out what I'm doing, is on something called a calendar, and it's on my website, and you can just see all the stuff there in one spot. Isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. I think I did a great job doing that. My skills are just... and I have an email. I've got an email list now. Once I get enough people there, I'm at about around 20. Once I get around 50 people, I'll put out a monthly newsletter. And I'm thinking of going like old school newsletter, not like just rambling on about what's going on instead of giving you the useful information will be there, but it'll be really just kind of rambly, just like this is. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you get a free copy of Very Grim Fairy Tales, the PDF version, not the real version, not the physical version. They're both real. One's digitally real, the other one's really real. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully I've lost all my viewers by now by rambling on about this kind of stuff. What's going on? Then we got to check the chat here, see if anyone has any great things for me to answer before we get on with today. So today we're talking about children's literature. I think it was specifically asked like my books I liked, and I'm going to get into that a little later, but I think it's important first of all to talk about the history, because this is I want this to be educational and uplifting. You know, I want you to leave going, hey, there was that thing he said. I already forgot what it was, but it was pretty interesting at the time. So history of children's books, children's literature. So for most of human history, there really wasn't kids' literature. There was like stories and stuff. But the stories were seldom just for kids. There were fairy tales. Fairy tales were generally for everyone, though, but some of them were more geared towards kids. I have a whole book of fairy tales. I might read one at the end if there's time. We'll see. But I'm not going to do the fairy tale stuff because I want to get into kids' literature. So then around the 1700s, the idea of kids changed. It was originally kids were just like little adults. They're just like just adults, but smaller and even more incompetent, which is saying a lot considering most adults. And they were considered to be born into the world with a bunch of set characteristics, right? They come out and it's already kind of set who they are. And they also were supposed to come out with original sin. They came out, they already came out damaged goods. And I'm not really a religious person, but man, I do believe that there is evil in children. So, I can see where that idea came from. But then this guy called John Locke, guy in England there, he came up with this new idea. He said, no, kids you're not born into the world with a bunch of stuff already in you. You're born blank. You are a tabula rasa. That's Latin there. Everyone likes the Latin. Tabula rasa, blank slate. You're a blank slate. Kids are blank slates. So whatever they're exposed to is what their personality becomes. So you got to be really careful, and you have to give children only the most worthy and interesting and uplifting and morally good things. So this is a big change. So all of a sudden, people are going, okay, we gotta make these kids know what's good. The first modern children's book was something called a Little Pretty Pocket Book. Little Pretty Pocket Book. Did I get a picture of that one? No, I didn't get a picture of it. You just have to imagine. That was the first one. Most of the books back, the early books were didactic. That's another big word I get to use, didactic. Meaning they are supposed to tell the kids what they should and should not do, right? Should and should not do. One of the more famous of these books. I didn't even put up my Grimm's Fairy Tale slide. Went through all that work to get it, and I didn't even put it up. Oh my God. Okay, let me get rid of this book. There. I meant to put that up when I was talking about the fairy tales. I spent a couple of minutes finding that. I should put it up. There it is, and it's gone again. But I'm going to talk about this book now. Der Struwwelpeter, which means the Struwwelpeter. This is a German book. It's actually been, I think it's been translated as Shock-Haired Peter. Shock-Haired Peter. Everybody know this one? Big hit back in the 1800s. It was by this guy. Where is his name here? I got it around. Shock-Haired. Where is it? Okay. German psychiatrist Heinrich Hoffmann did Der Struwwelpeter. Anyone know this one? Anyone know this one? Okay. So this was part of this whole, I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from but the first one's from Shock-Haired Peter, and the next one's from a later book of his. So from Shock-Haired Peter, one of the stories was Suck-a-Thumb, Conrad Suck-a-Thumb. I'll just read an excerpt here. It's, okay. One day Mama said, "Conrad, dear, I must go out and leave you here. But mind now, Conrad, what I say. Don't suck your thumb while I'm away. The great tall tailor always comes to little boys that suck their thumbs, and ere they dream what he's about, he takes his great sharp scissors out and cuts their thumbs clean off, and then, you know they never grow again." Isn't that a beautiful story? I think that's awesome. What a great... Why don't we write more kids' books like that? Huh? Right? They had parenting down back in the mid-1800s. This was a science. Hey, you're sucking your thumb? I'll tell you what's going to happen. This big, tall dude with big scissors is going to come and chop your frickin' thumb off, kid. And it's not going to grow back. How do you like them apples, kid? Get your thumb out of your mouth. It's going to get chopped off. That's good, solid parenting. Okay, that's from... So he wrote a sequel, because this was so freaking popular. He wrote a sequel to it. And it was called Slovenly Betsy. That's actually the title of the next book. This guy, this Heinrich, he was a Barrel of laughs, eh? Slovenly Betsy. You don't see a lot of books like that. Like a kid's book called Slovenly Betsy. He published it in 1911 specifically for American audiences. Isn't that nice? He's trying to branch out now from Europe. He's going to go, okay, you know what? I've got Europe under control. I'm going to get those unruly American children now. So, Slovenly Betsy. So I'm going to read the one called Cry Baby. And these are pictures from the book. So this one here is, it's called Cry Baby. I'm going to read the whole thing. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. So I'm going to read the whole thing. Okay. If you have any children, this is what they should be listening to, by the way. This is good for them. It's good for them. It'll turn them into better people. Okay, the crybaby. Oh, why are you always so bitterly crying? You surely will make yourself blind. What reason on earth for such sobbing and sighing? I pray can you possibly find? There is no real sorrow. There's no distressing to make you thus grieve and lament. Ah, no, you are just at this moment possessing whatever should make you content. Now do, my dear daughter, give over this weeping. Such was a kind mother's advice. But all was in vain, so you see, she's still keeping her handkerchief up to her eyes. But now she removes it, and oh, she discloses a countenance full of dismay. For she certainly feels, or at least she supposes, her eyesight is going away. She is not mistaken. Her sight is departing. She knows it and sorrows the more, then rubs her sore eyes to relieve them from smarting, and makes them still worse than before. And now the poor creature is cautiously crawling and feeling her way all around, and now from their sockets her eyeballs are falling. See, there they are down on the ground. My children, from such an example take warning, and happily live while you may, and say to yourselves, when you rise in the morning, I'll try to be cheerful today. That's beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's a beautiful story. I think it's a beautiful. I'll show you the next picture. So there she is. There she is, the crybaby. You can see her eyes are like, it's almost like she has like laser beam eyes, except there's actually her eyeballs crying. It's a big pool of tears, and her eyes have plopped out of her sockets and are now in a puddle of her own tears on the ground. And she's like, whoa, what happened? I should have been cheerful. I should have just slapped my happy face on. Why don't we write stories like that anymore? That's what I want to know. Yep. So there, yeah. That was Heinrich. You should look his stuff up. He's a solid, he's a good guy. And if you have kids, or especially if you know someone who has little children and they're bad parents, because if you don't have kids yourself, all other parents are bad. Give them these books and it'll set them straight. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's some good illustrating, isn't it? Yep. So any questions on that so far? You know, I think that's a solid start to this show. I'm going to, I've been so inspired. I love this kind of writing. So I've got a little poem to read myself that I've kind of written in this vein. I'm hoping to bring this back, actually. I'm hoping to be... So here's a little poem I wrote. It's not quite as long. I need to work on the length of it. I think I got the feel about the same. So here we go. This is one this is the Pit of Ungrateful Children. Listen to your mum and dad. It's not good to make them mad. For if you do, you might fall in the pit of ungrateful children. This is where they put the spiteful, the unthankful, and the frightful. Little spawn who have gone wrong, they drop them in and then they're gone. A mound of naughty girls and boys who shall no longer play with toys. You might be all right for a while, until more children join the pile, and as they crush you from above, you'll know the meaning of tough love. So learn this lesson good and well, and please do what your parents tell. Isn't that nice? It's a start anyway. I think I need to drag it out more now that I've read the Masters. I think I need more detail and more crushing and specific body parts being destroyed or crushed. What do you think? More detail? More gruesome? Yeah, I think maybe. Mm-hmm. You think it's all right as the way it is? Okay. Maybe I won't overwork it. That's another danger, is overworking the thing. Okay, maybe I'll leave it how it is. Okay, I'll leave it. Oh man. That's what happens when you ask for advice. you get, when you ask for advice, the problem with asking for advice is that you get it. That's the problem. Then you have to deal with it. Okay. So I've been working on a book of, I already have my Grimm fairy tales, but I've also been working on nursery rhymes as well. So hopefully I'll get that done someday. Oh, back to my script. What was I going to do next? Oh, okay. So the big turning point, one of the big turning points in children's literature was this book here called Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. So this is the early 1800s and mid 1800s stuff. I just read you some of that. And then in the late 1800s, they started to have a little different idea about children again. So instead of these blank slates that had to have stuff that you had to quickly put the right information on, else they would go wrong, like robots, right? They were little children were robots, and you had to put the right instructions in, because if you didn't, they would turn against their overlords and take over the planet, as they so often do. But then they started, oh wait, you know what? Maybe kids do. Maybe we should be nice to kids, or give them imagination or something. So then all of a sudden, books started talking more about imagination and fantasy and stories like that, and Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. And some people have already kind of guessed what I might be going next. I found a song to sing about this, because I like singing the songs, right? It's kind of my thing. I mean, I like rambling too, but singing the songs, I think I'm on firmer footing here. So I'm going to sing a little song about Alice in Wonderland that I found. Some of you might know it. There we go. Put a little reverb on here to make me sweet. Oh, actually, I should have lots of reverb on this one. Yeah. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Just ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you're going to fall, tell him a hookah-smoking caterpillar has given you the call. Go ask Alice when she was just small. Oh, when the man up on the chessboard get up, tell you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom and your mind is moving low, just go, Alice, I think she'll know. Oh, and logic and proportion have fallen sloppy down, and the white knights talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the dormouse said. What'd he say? Feed your head. What's that? Feed your head. There you go. Still valid advice. Valid advice. Yeah, what was the name of that band? They keep on changing their name. Oh, Don't Come Around Here No More. Oh, I should have totally learned that one, too. Okay. So that's White Rabbit. It was what they called Jefferson's Airplane at the time, and then they became Jefferson's Starship, and then they became Starship and finally put out good music, like We Built This City. Yeah, on rock and roll. That's what you build it on. Well, yeah. Anyway, there we go. That was White Rabbit for all you people back at home. I turned it to a waltz kind of beat. Yeah, just cause. I didn't even really know the lyrics in that song. Where's the one great lyric? When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead. That's an awesome line. I've heard this song a lot, but I had no idea that was what. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead. Awesome line. Good line. I don't know if that's actually from the book or if they wrote that. I have no idea. Drugs were involved, regardless. Okay. So that's kind of a bit of the history a bit of the background. And so then from there, the kids' books became their own genre of literature, and people started writing more and more for kids, and they're more, sadly, they were less about scaring the crap out of kids, which I think is too bad. It's too bad. I mean, look at the mess we're in now. We should have just continued to threaten the children. But instead, we talked about fantasy, and then blah, 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 blah. So next, I would like to talk about my experience with books, because I think that was actually what was asked of me to do. But I can't help it doing research. So let's get those guys off. So I have a really terrible memory, and I'm not even joking. My memory sucks. It's horrible. So I was having a hard time digging up memories. But one memory I had, I actually started writing books before I think I was really reading them. I would recite them. The most famous one in my family was I apparently, and it's lost to the ages, but I recited this book, and then I drew pictures. It was called The Football Players of Nottingham. Pretty strong title. I have to rewrite this sometime. The Football Players of Nottingham, and that they were able to defeat the other team with their strong elbows. So, surprising that I would have been writing books before I could actually write. So I think I was, into creating stuff. And then I was put in, I think one of the reasons I recited instead of read is because I was one of those kids who wasn't good at reading. I was like, the kid, the person from the special class comes in, knocks on the door of your class, then a couple of kids get up and leave the class. I was one of those kids when I was young. I'd go into the other room to learn how to read properly. I was a little dyslexic, so I couldn't actually, read. I also had speech therapy and handwriting extra handwriting. I couldn't write. I still can't write by hand. I'm so glad computers took over and crushed handwriting. Hate handwriting. Blah. I know a lot of people go, they don't teach cursive anymore. And I'm like, yeah, good. Let it die. Because when I had to do handwriting, I'd write stuff by hand. No one could read the damn thing, so I'd get terrible marks, and people would think you're stupid. But now it's gone. So good. Let it go. If you're into it, that's fine. If you're into cursive, that's great. But they should teach cursive. They should teach it how to shoe a horse too, right? Yeah, it's gone. Okay. Anyway, that was a little off rant there. My handwriting sucks, so I'm glad. So I didn't read a lot when I was little because I couldn't actually read. And then I went to a French immersion school after that. French immersion school. So I was reading a lot of French kids' books, I recall. And so I was reading a lot of this stuff right here. Les Schtroumpfs. So I was reading the Smurfs before they broke big in North America. I was already reading them. They didn't, because I was reading them in the late 70s. And then they didn't break in North America around 1979, 1980. And that was really weird, because all of a sudden, all these people I know are talking about the Smurfs. I was like, no, I've done this. I was like a hipster. Like, no, man, I knew the Smurfs when they were the Schtroumpfs, man. I'm totally over that. I'm over that. I've already done the Schtroumpfs. No, they're called the Smurfs. They're the Schtroumpfs, man. So I read a lot of Schtroumpfs. Le Bébé Schtroumpf. I put this one up because I think this has always been a particularly creepy story of the Smurfs. So they only had the one female Smurf, and I think she was made by Gargamel to mess up the Smurfs. And then she had a kid, and there's all these other Smurfs around. It was, man, the Smurf village, when you start thinking about it, I don't know what the hell was going on. There's just the one old guy and a bunch of young guys, and then the one girl and the one baby. I don't know, man. It's a good thing only kids read that stuff. Does not. There's some weird stuff going on underneath in the Smurfs. So I read, Tintin. I read a bunch of Tintin as well. Tintin. Zoop Zoop. His dog went Zoop Zoop. So I read Tintin. I also read all of these. I think these are my favorite. Asterix et Obélix. They were my favorite. I love them because there was all sorts of beaten up going on. The Smurfs didn't have a lot of beaten up. They just had like creepy undertones going on. But Adventures of Asterix et Obélix, they were just beating the crap out of stuff, carrying menhirs around. I mean, it was awesome. I really liked Asterix and Obélix. So I read a ton of that stuff. Sorry, I should go look see if anyone's Anyone said anything here? Okay. So what else is going on? So Asterix, Obelix. Yeah. So did a lot of that. And then one of the first English books I remember really liking was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I really liked that one because it was kind of weird. There's a lot of... And it was interesting because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory actually brought back the style of didactic, judgy poems, which was interesting because the Oompa Loompas sang all these judgy songs about the bad children. So he kind of, Roald Dahl kind of recycled that and changed it around a bit. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't know back then, but now I know. I'm looking. Actually, it's just really getting me now that, I see. I now know what he did there. He was taking the old didactic tales and he spun it around in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and that's why they all did it in rhyming couplets. Isn't that interesting? Just wow, look at that. I learned something today. And there's a bunch of songs from the movies, but I know we weren't really doing the movies, so I didn't want to do the Oompa Loompa songs. Yeah, but anyway, that was a big one. That was a big one for me. And then another one I remember. Because I remember we had a book fair, and everyone told me to get this book. Yeah, this book right here. Mr. Strong, because my last name is Strong, right? Here we go. That's what I'm drinking out of today. Hey, look at that. I got the mug. These were great. And I actually read a ton of these ones to my kids. The Mr. Man and Little Mrs. books. Yeah, these are awesome too. Awesome possum. So there's Mr. Strong. Mr. Strong gained his strength from his eggy breakfasts. If you want to, if you don't remember the story, Mr. Strong you know what? The thing is, I kind of look. If I put on a hat like that, I would look very similar. Yeah, I have a rectangular body. There's no form at all. It's just like that. I'm not even lying. That's really my body shape. He's a little square. I think I'll be there in about... Give me another 10 years and I'll be that. I think I could still be called a rectangle instead of a square. But at least I'm not spherical. But I'm going to turn into a big old square pretty soon. Seems like a regular guy, says David. That's nice. Yeah, he is regular. Oh, a mentor actually thought that was a picture of me. Yeah, no, we're very similar. We're both, smiley guys. I have a nose and a thumb. I don't know if he's lacking a thumb or if he's lacking one of his fingers. That is open to debate, I guess. I also have knees. He doesn't seem to have any knees. So there are some differences, but yeah, it's a striking similarity. Striking. Absolutely. Mr. Men. So I remember reading a bunch of those ones too. Then when I got older, I started reading like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, all that kind of stuff. Any questions? How would I suffer questions? Because I'm at the halfway mark. Any questions about anything so far? Any of the books I read as a kid? My inability to talk or read properly or write. It's kind of ironic. Now that's all I do is talk and read and write. Strange. That was the things I was... Yeah, okay. What about the Charlie sequel? Good question. I clearly remember reading the Charlie book and then going to the school library and asking if they had the next one. And it was already taken out and I had to wait for it. And then I got it. And I don't remember much about it, but I remember I was disappointed. I remember not liking it as much as the first one. I know they went up or something, but I remember not liking it as much. I don't know if anyone's read it more recently than that, because that was 42 years ago or something like that. Was I still? Yeah, 41. I'm not sure how. Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah. So I remember not being impressed by the sequel, but I'm not impressed. I was just disappointed because the first one was so awesome. That's my memory of that. Any more questions? Any questions? Oh, Mentor said he didn't like it, never got. Yeah, I know it was a good lesson for me about sequels, right? That sequels seldom, it's like with the lockdown here. This is our third lockdown in Ontario. The first one was like, oh, what's going on? Like, oh, look at this. New things happening. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And the second one was like more of the same, bit of a twist, but not that much. And you're like, And this third lockdown is just like, oh my God, can't you come up with something new? Oh, look, they're trying the police authority plot line now, and that's going nowhere. It's like, oh my God, this sequel sucks. Anyway, Shel Silverstein. Yes, I remember a bunch of Shel Silverstein. Oh, and I meant to do Alligator Pie. That's what I meant to do. Every Canadian child in the 70s was read Alligator Pie. Maybe I can find the lyrics. Just lickety split. I meant to do that. Why didn't I do that? Trevor, what's wrong with you? I think I just got so excited about those didactic rhymes that I forgot alligator. I'm going to see if I can quickly find the Alligator Pie here and turn it into a song. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know why every child in the 70s. I mean, it was a good book. Let's see if I can find the lyrics here. I'm just going to quickly sing Alligator Pie if I can find it. It's not technically a song. Oh, I found it. Okay. Oh, it's very short. I'm not sure what style I should sing it as. Anyone? What style should I sing Alligator Pie as? Hope most of you know it. You don't remember Alligator Pie, Carolyn? Maybe it was an Ontario thing. It might have just been an Ontario thing because it was guy was from Toronto. Yeah, it was from Toronto. So yeah, Alligator Pie. Do. So I don't know what to. Alligator. Should I do it as a kid? I'll do it as a kid's song first, then I'll change it up. Alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna die. Give away the green grass, give away the sky, but don't give away my alligator pie. Alligator stew. If I don't get some, don't know what I'm gonna do. Give away my furry hat, give away my shoe, but don't give away my alligator stew. Alligator soup. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna droop. That's not what I would have put there. Give away my hockey stick, give away my hoop, but don't give away my alligator soup. Alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna die. Give away the green grass, give away the sky, but don't give away my alligator pie. Dennis Lee, thank you for putting the name up there. Yeah, this book, maybe it was mainly an Ontario thing. He was Dennis Lee. He was from Toronto. I think he was our kind of version of Shel Silverstein. But yeah, every kid I knew, their parents had bought a book. Rock opera. Okay, I'll just do a quick rock opera version. Alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna die. Give away the green grass, give away the sky, but don't give away my alligator pie. Alligator stew. If I don't get some, I don't know what I'll do. Give away my furry hat, give away a shoe, but don't give away my alligator stew. That was kind of rock opera-y. Okay, phew, glad I remembered that. I was going to do that's important. I got to get Canadian points for doing that. Phew. Okay, back to my script. But yeah, I should have sung a Shel Silverstein one. Oh well, lots of people have already done that though, so you can find that somewhere else. I don't think a lot of people have done the waltz version of White Rabbit though. I think that's mostly me. Okay, I'm gonna go on now to the children's books I've had to suffer through with my children. I'm gonna do a little bit of that. So my kids, my son was first up. My friend was first up, and he was pretty much a one-thing kid when he was young. There was one thing that he liked, and that was this engine here, Thomas the Tank Engine. That was from the first book. It's a reprint, of course. That's the first book, Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know, are any of you out here familiar with Thomas the Tank Engine? Talk about some undertones, okay? So Thomas the Tank Engine. He's this little engine. These were originally written, I think, in the 1920s, 30s, something like that, the first round. And yeah, they were trying to control the children, but not as obviously. So Thomas the Tank Engine there. Thomas the Tank Engine was one of many engines just living in this this yard. And the guy controlling Thomas and all of his friends is this guy right here, the Fat Controller, as he's called in England. The Fat Controller. Yep. So this was really just a way to get children to become cogs in the great in the great engine of capitalism. This was the whole idea behind Thomas the Tank Engine. And the thing is that I like is they weren't really hiding it, right? Who was the guy in control? The Fat Controller. Look at him. They're not even hiding it. It's like, this guy runs you. This guy owns you. In North America, they call him Sir Topham Hatt. But back in England, they just go, he's the Fat Controller. The Fat Controller. So there he is, the Fat Controller. And he's in charge of Tidmouth Sheds where Thomas is. And he's the big honcho. And the whole thing about the worst thing you could be if you're an engine. If you're an engine, what's the worst thing you can cause? Confusion and delay. You have caused confusion and delay. Not injustice, not inequity, not pestilence and plague. No. Confusion and delay. You have slowed down our capitalist machinery, Thomas, and you must be punished. You're late with your delivery. My goodness, I'm losing profits already. I feel myself thinning as I speak to you. Not able to eat all the rich foods that I can buy off the back of your labor, Thomas. Yeah, so that's what was going on. It's kind of creepy stuff. Now, and you're going, well, what would happen? What would happen to one of these engines if they caused confusion and delay? Well, there was one story, one of the early stories. The Fat Controller and Gordon did something. I forget exactly what Gordon did. He caused some confusion and delay. And so, like any good manager, Sir Topham Hatt put him in a tunnel and bricked him up. Eventually, the bricks went all the way up, by the way. This is just the start of the wall, so where the Fat Controller could harangue him. He basically imprisoned one of his workers and put him in a dark hole and bricked him up. Like I said, this is not like, you don't have to look for metaphors here. There's no metaphors going on in the early, at least the early Thomas the Tank Engine. You have caused confusion and delay. You are a very bad, inefficient engine, not helping me make money. I'm not making any money because of you, so I'm going to use you as an example to the others. You will be put up in here, and I'll brick you in, and you can suffer the terrors of the night and perpetual darkness. Yep. Thomas the Tank Engine, everyone. Really useful. So what you were supposed to be is a really useful engine. That's what you're supposed to be. Really useful. That's the whole thing about Thomas the Tank Engine, is that you're only good if you're useful, and if you're not useful, then you're just used. You're scrapped for parts. A Fat Controller just rips you to pieces, and you're sent to the junkyard and melted down for something more useful. Mm-hmm. So there's Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, I should sing a song from Thomas the Tank Engine. And it's funny, my son, when he was around 14 or 15, he came to me and went, I think Thomas the Tank Engine was like a capitalist plot. I'm like, yeah. Oh, you finally figured that out. Yeah, it totally was. Smart kid, though. Yeah, figured it out on his own when he went back to look at something. Like, oh my God, what the hell was... Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you better be really useful, boy. Be really useful. Out you go for scraps. We can sell some of those young organs of yours. So, yeah, there we go. Really useful. I'm going to sing Really Useful Engine now. This is one of the little mind-controlling songs. Fun fact, Stephen Page sang this song on one of the Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Stephen Page of the Bare Naked Ladies has done a version. So I'm not even like the first big Canadian version of this song. And you'll see the theme of what you're supposed to do as a really useful engine. Did I have this up? He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He huffs and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's a really useful engine we adore. He's the one, he's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one, he's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's a really useful engine, you know, 'cause the Fat Controller, he told him so. Now he's got a branch line to call his very own. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one, he's the one. He's a really useful engine that we adore. He's the one, he's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the Tank Engine, capitalism at its best. Rule Britannia. Anyway, yep. Yeah, it was, at least, like I said, it was, in a way it's good. It was like, because it was all up front. They've kind of pushed it back now in the modern Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. But, yeah, poor Gordon, someone said. Yeah, poor Gordon, exactly. Well, no, don't feel sorry for, what are you, a communist? A communist? Gordon was not doing, he was an inefficient worker. He was causing confusion and delay, and he has to be made an example of. Come on, get that stuff going off the, get all that stuff, products. Anyway, sorry, little off again. What's my next one? Oh, Dr. Seuss. I read a lot of Dr. Seuss when I was a kid, or had it read to me, and I read a bunch as well. There's Hop on Pop. I'm just gonna let that sit. I might go sing Hop on Pop, but we'll see what I do on time. I'm going to go to what my daughter... So, my daughter had a bunch of stuff, but when she was little, one of the things she was in... I don't know if any of you have a young, usually girl, in your life who is into rainbow magic. Has anyone had to suffer through this? Does anyone have a... Oh, Ross says Gordon was a bully. Was that the problem he had? He was a bully? Yeah, so he totally deserved that. So top him hat, he's not a bully. Fat Controller. Okay, so she had this phase where she was into these books, the rainbow magic. Each one was a fairy with an attribute. So the first one that I found on the internet, the first one was Ruby the Red Fairy. I think they were originally just supposed to be the colors of the rainbow, but it was so popular and effective that soon they ran out of rainbow colors. And so then it was like Marge, the music fairy, and Daniela, the dog fairy. And like they were like just stretching and stretching. And so when I was looking this up to find the slides for today, slides, who calls them slides? Oh my, how old am I? Oh, that was a big fail right there. That was a slides. Yeah. Okay. When I was looking up the pictures here, I found that they're still pumping these out, but they're actually running out of things. They're running out of things to be fairy of. So I found this one here. This is Evelyn, the Mermicorn Fairy. Mermicorn. A mermaid unicorn, people. That's what she has, a mermicorn. It's like Evelyn was late to the big gathering where they all pick their thing, right? Everyone's there. They've got the really keeners, got the colors. The next people got like the cute little animals and stuff like that. And then Evelyn can't get her ass out of bed. She shows up late. Everyone's already there. Like, Evelyn, hey, what are you going to be the fairy of? All the good stuff's been taken. And she's like, no, the good stuff hasn't been taken. Good stuff hasn't been taken. It's like, no, everything's taken. Everything's taken, Evelyn. And she's like, no, I'm the Mermicorn Fairy. It's like, there's no freaking thing like it. There's no Mermicorn. There is. Look, I have one right here. And it's like, oh my God, she ripped the head off a unicorn and put it on a fish. It's like, no, I haven't done that. It's a Mermicorn. It's a real imaginary thing. And we're like, no, but there's blood all over you. It's not blood. It's magic liquid. It's magic liquid from the Mermicorn. That's what they spew out of their sides. Anyway. Evelyn the Mermicorn Fairy. Oh my God. Mermicorn, really. Anyway, these books are, if you read them I think I took brain damage from reading couple of these books to my daughter. Fortunately, she read the rest of them on her own. They're beyond insipid. Beyond insipid. I would read the Strumpferweller books or whatever any day over these Rainbow Magic ones. They got me. It got me. I was just a Beverly Cleary. I don't think Beverly Cleary is actually a person. I think they say Beverly Cleary wrote these. I'm not sure. Maybe she is. If she is, she's like so rich. I got the feeling they were just made by committee or by a computer program. You could just type in Myrmicorn and press the button, and the whole story would be written like in a millisecond by any good algorithm. Yeah, or any evil algorithm. So Beverly Cleary, that right. Okay, sorry, I got confused. But these books were just, I think they were attributed to somebody. I don't know. Yeah, Beverly Cleary, I never read the Beverly Cleary stuff. My kid was 26. Barney books. I could have done some Barney too, yeah. I was just past Barney. The kids watch a little Barney, but they didn't like it that much. So I got so irate about these frickin' fairies that I wrote an entire book called Stanley the Stinky Fairy, because I just got, and it hasn't been published. I sent it off to people. They all thought it was crap. But anyway, it's got some good songs in it. So part of the Stanley the Stinky Fairy book is he's part of a group called the Faulty Fairies. And instead of all the wonderful, fantastic, beautiful things like frickin' Myrmicorns, they're about all the yucky things. So I got in the book, I got an introduction song, which they sing when they meet the human characters who find them. Okay. We are the faulty fairies, we do not have a care. We live in the bottom of the bog. Being filthy and gross is what we like the most. Every single one of us a slob. We eat junk food and never clean up. We pick our noses and we smell our toes. We're rude and crude, we're not making that up. We're everything that's awful, I suppose. We are the faulty fairies, we do not have a care. We live in the bottom of the bog. Our shirts are made of dirt, good work we do subvert. Being less than perfect is our job. The world we make a messy, stinky place, and now we're going to give you some advice. Without mistakes, you'd think life would be great, but before you wish for that, you should think twice. 'Cause if it weren't for us, things would be nice. Yes, everything around you would be nice, nice, nice. Black. We are the faulty fairies, we do not have a care. We live in the bottom of the bog. That's the Faulty Fairy song. I don't know why no one publishes this thing's awesome. It's awesome. The whole story's awesome. All the characters are awesome. Writing is awesome. Yep. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on there. It sounds like Faulty Fairy. And then I got Stanley's song. Every Faulty Fairy has a song, of course, because I wrote the damn book. So there has to be songs in it. I have no idea how they're supposed to sound. I'm Stanley the Stinky Fairy, and everybody knows when I'm within a mile of them, from the stench in their nose, I make rotten things smell rancid. So when you take a whiff of farts or skunks or toe jam, thank me with every sniff. 'Cause I stink in the morning, and I stink in the night. I stink in the evening, I stink with all my might. Without me you would not know the sweet smell of defeat. I'm a fragrant violation to everyone I meet. If I wasn't here, the world would make no sense. Sense. S-C-E, and never mind. I'm proud to say that I stink in my own defense. I stink, and then it goes on. Okay, there it is. So if you want to get that book, you can't. Well, it's on my computer. You could crack into my computer or something like that and take it that way. So there's Stanley the Stinky Fairy. That was my reaction to that. Whew. Okay. That was a lot of talking. Any kind of questions? That's mostly what I want to say. Let's take that annoying Myrmicorn. Has anyone heard of Myrmicorns before? like, has this been made up for a little while, or because hey, it actually angered me when I saw it on the internet the other day. It's like, come on, Myrmicorns. Oh, you already, okay, Menta's already hacked in. Oh, Sandra Boynton, yeah, she had some great ones. She was actually super awesome. What was the Hippos Go Berserk? That was one of my favorites. Hippos Go Berserk is awesome. My daughter loved that one. We read it a ton. It's actually good. I don't know why I only remember the ones that I hated. It says something about me, I guess, in my... Yeah. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank patrons before I go off here. The Patronus Maximus today is Matt Marks. I don't know if he was here today or not. He can watch it later. Matt Marks is my Patronus Maximus. I survived by the kindly patrons, my kindly patrons, who very nicely support me. I'm going to quickly thank some: Aaron, David Lyle, Geneva, Jennifer, Rebecca, Tony, Angela, and Rob, Carolyn, and Marilyn. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And now I'm going to start thinking about next week's topic, I guess. Yeah, that's what we can do. So we have to figure out what, next. I have to stop doing that, Trevor. Stop it. So almost everyone's a regular now. We need to pick the topic for the next program in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, May something or other. First weekend in May is what it's going to be, and we got to pick. So start thinking of that as I very slowly get this thing working, because I still haven't gotten around to figuring out a better way to do this. Oh, and I can hear my echo. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to get this poll up as soon as I can. Thank everyone for coming again. Oh, by the way, I've got an email list. Go sign that up on my website if you want to get the Grim Fairy Tales. I'm going to manage poll now. Hang in there. We're loading your activity. New poll. Here we go. Question. Topic with a question mark. Topic. Hey, I think this is the quickest I've done this. Okay, what do we have? Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's a good one. Solid. Lord of the Rings. Yep, we can definitely do that. Lord of the Rings camping. Camping. Squirrel. Who put squirrels in there? Who is that? Okay, squirrels. I'm putting it in there. I shouldn't. Squirrels. Harry Potter. I can only do 5. I'm sorry if I don't get yours on. I'm not really sorry. You should have put it in quicker. Well, I probably actually missed some too. And then kazoos and theremins. That's where I'm stopping. That's a kazoos and theremins. Okay, so before I press, the next show's topics: Lord of the Rings, camping, squirrels, Harry Potter, kazoos and theremins. I'm starting the poll. You can pretty much only do this on the Twitch, though. Well, you can definitely only do it. Everyone else just has to watch if you're on one of the other streams. And that's what that's going to be. That's what that's going to be right there. It's counting down. It's counting down. It's gonna be a big show, whatever it is. Do I have anything? Oh, if you're watching this live, you people are, but some people in the future might be watching this as well. Big Arrogant Worms stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. All 3 of us are going to be singing, covering each other's songs. We're going to be doing the songs the other guy usually sings. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be it's going to breathtaking is what I would describe that show is going to be. As I slowly wait for this poll. I try to see if I can get this poll to do less than a minute, and it won't. So I'm just rambling on. Trevor, okay. Oh, okay, Menta's going to take a nap. Yeah, take a nap. It's going to be exhausting, the show. Absolutely. Let's see what we got. And the results are almost here. They're almost here. And they are here. And the winner is, come on, I'm clicking see results. Show me the winner. Lord of the Rings just beat out Squirrels. Lord of the Rings. Okay, next one will be Lord of the Rings. It's going to be super awesome. I think I have said everything I need to say. If anyone has a last minute question, I'm very happy to answer it. But if not, I'll say goodbye. I'll just take one more second to take a look. Take a look. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Yay, Lord of the Rings. People are happy. People are very happy. At least Jen is. My precious. Oh, yeah, I can do my bad. My precious. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, I got to practice. Okay. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you around. And that's it. See you in 2 weeks. And I'm going to go and end this stream. Bye-bye, everybody.